Hello, my friends. I am just about to leave for work and I finished a book last night, like right before I went to bed. So I wanted to start a new book today, and my Libya hold just came in for Now Is Not the Time to Panic by Kevin Wilson. I read Nothing to See Here last year. No, oh my gosh, 2 years ago. Wow, time flies. Anyway, I think about Nothing to See Here all the time. I loved it. It was one of my absolute favorites from 2022. Yeah, so Now Is Not the Time to Panic just came in. It's a short audiobook, but I also own the physical book, so I can like bounce back and forth between the two of them. So I think I'm gonna start that now and start off this kind of like realistic what I read in a week situation. Hello, it's much later and I wanted to give you an update. So I listened to 33% of Now Is Not the Time to Panic. So that is roughly page 86. I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it at the beginning. I wasn't sure if this was like the kind of read I was feeling at the time. I've kind of been in a romance kick lately. And this is literary or just like contemporary. But I'm into it now. I really like the scenes, like the flashback scenes, talking about their past. So let me explain a little bit more about this book to you. Now Is Not the Time to Panic is a story about some art that two teens make in their youth in the summer that kind of ends up having its own like revolution, and you know, people start creating their own meaning from it, even though to them it really doesn't mean much. It was just them having fun and, you know, like entertaining themselves in the summertime. You know, come to find out literally in the first chapter, this reporter's calling her and being like, you were part of this, people died, like, we need to talk about this. So there's that like mystery and that kind of fear at the very beginning of the story that's really intriguing and just like immediately draws you into the story. But what's winning my heart right now is the flashbacks about how the two main characters, Frankie and Zeke, how they became friends, and just like where all of this started and came from, which right now, and like what I will tell you without spoiling it, is just like two bored teens trying to come up with something to do and entertain themselves in a small town for the summer. And that ended up being art. What they do with that, I will leave you to find out. But anyway, it's just really cute. It's like she's just awkward and she's very accepting of that and herself, and she's like, I know I'm weird, but like that's just how I am and I accept that. And I really like that, and it feels kind of relatable because I wasn't super into partying or going out and trying and doing crazy things or doing drugs and drinking when I was in high school, and I felt very out of the loop because of that. But like at the same time, I didn't want to change myself to fit in that way. So I'm like really relating to her and like feeling that nostalgia. Yeah, I'm excited to continue it. I still have, you know, quite a ways to go, but I'm enjoying that so far. I also filmed a very impromptu book shopping vlog and haul, and this is one of the books that I picked up. I am currently doing a buddy read with some of my friends of the Shatter Me series. We are currently reading the entire series, and so we finished the first book in 3 days. And I have the first 3 books, but I completely forgot about the novellas. I wasn't sure if we were reading them, so I scrambled to Barnes & Noble after work to grab these so that I could start these. So I did start reading this during dinner. I'm currently on page 60. I'm actually really enjoying it because it's from Warner's perspective. Warner's a bit crazy and annoying in the first book, but this novella is in his perspective. And so we're getting to see a lot more about how his brain works, a little bit more of his past and his history. I had already kind of guessed some of the things, but it was really, what's the word I'm looking for? Not reassuring, reaffirming to like actually read them and see them, and like for those puzzle pieces to click into place. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it from his perspective. I am annotating, and we just had a moment where a title moment. So yeah, I'm having a good time with this series so far. I do plan on going back and highlighting and tabbing these, but right now, just for the sake of time and speed, I'm just like underlining and like you know, taking notes and annotating that way. I'm really enjoying it. I enjoyed the first book a lot. It was very fast paced. I enjoyed the prose and like the style of writing. I'm still like not really sure what direction it's going to go in and like the full purpose of everything. I'm starting to get a picture, but it's not like super obvious. So I'm excited to get a little bit more of a bigger picture of the series, but I'm enjoying the ride so far. I am a mood reader, so this is gonna kind of be like a realistic what I read in a week, which is not always in order. I will be bouncing around a lot. This is how my brain works, and this is how I'm able to read so much, and this is how I am able to enjoy reading so much, because if I am not enjoying something, I'll jump to something else, or like if I'm not in the mood for something, I'll put that down for a bit and hop to something else and then circle back, you know, a week or a month later, who knows. So yeah, this is gonna be really realistic. Good morning, everyone. Today is actually Wednesday. I didn't really end up reading much yesterday except for school. You don't want to hear me talk about that. I did manage to listen to a little bit of Barbarian's Mate, which is the 7th book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I have it on Audible. I've been doing a very slow listen through of that series, and it's been really fun. However, this one I'm going through a little bit of a slower pace because this couple, like, I love them. I genuinely love them, but when they're chosen as mates for each other, it's very Pride and Prejudice, I think. And I think it's a play on that actually now that I'm listening to it, because Josie just refuses to see Hayden in any other way besides that she hates them, and she just is convinced that he hates her. But she's also never really tried to like sit down and talk to him. She's very like quick to jump to conclusions, and Hayden is also not good at communicating. So, you know, he has this moment, or he has history and past that cause him to react a certain way, but he doesn't explain that to Josie, so she's confused, and then she jumps the gun and jumps to conclusions, and then it's just a mess. We're getting to the part where they start actually communicating and like understanding each other, but until then I'm just gonna be a little frustrated. So that's what I think I'm gonna focus on today, just so I can finish another book, because I haven't finished a book in a few days. It's making me a little antsy how many books I'm reading currently, which is like 13. It's ridiculous. You know, I'm in the middle of some buddy reads. I'm working through some books for different videos, and along with my own pleasure, Libby holds are coming in, so I'm trying to get through those. So it's just, we're making the best of it. So right now I'm making some breakfast, and then I'm gonna go run, take a shower, get ready. And today's actually going to be a big filming day for me. I work multiple part-time jobs. I'm in grad school. I have a long-distance boyfriend. So in order to make the most of my time, I have filming days and I pre-film a lot of stuff. But I just missed vlogs, like weekly vlogs. So that's why we're doing this, even though we're off to a bit of a rough start. But that's okay. This morning I am having some yogurt with banana and granola for breakfast. I have not been very healthy lately. I'm not going to say I'm going on a diet, because I'm really not going on a diet, but I think one thing that I can do to help myself just a little bit is to have more controlled portions and go based on the serving size. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to totally change my eating game and, you know, what I consume, but I am trying to be a little bit more aware and stick with the serving sizes at a time and like listen to my body in fullness. So I've been doing this for a week or so now and I'm really enjoying it. It keeps me full for a really long time, and it's like maybe 300 calories, maybe a little bit more than that for all of this food, and like it's delicious. It's just one small little thing I'm doing to try and make myself healthier. It's hard, y'all. While we're on the topic and while I'm on a roll about like controlled portions, so I'm a nanny, and after school the boys that I watch, we go and get a snack and then go home. But where we get snacks does not have a lot of options. Like, I live in the country, so we don't have a lot of options for healthy things or like fruit or anything. So I've been getting snacks with them a lot, and they're not good snacks. So I started making these little packs of snacks for me. So it has some white chocolate chips at the bottom for a little bit of sweetness, and then some pretzels for that kind of saltiness and like to keep my stomach more full. I do just a serving size of each. So 15 grams of the chocolate and 28 grams of the pretzels. I just have like a little food scale. And this has honestly been helping a lot too, because I'll just grab this before I go. That way I don't get like a bag of chips, or like hot Cheetos are my weakness. I just love the puffy hot Cheetos. I could literally eat a whole giant bag of those in one sitting, which is so bad for me. So I've been grabbing these, and that's been helping a lot lately. I got a little sidetracked last night and forgot to check in, but yesterday I did finish Barbarian's Mate. I believe the 7th, 6th Ice Planet Barbarians book. This one follows Josie and Hayden, and last time I talked to you, I kind of mentioned how we were finally getting to the part where things were happening and they were talking to each other more and communicating their past histories and why they acted and reacted certain ways. After that, the book just gets so good, but that first 30% is a little rough. We made it and we finished it, and it's very satisfying to finish another book. Since then, I have listened to some more of Now Is Not the Time to Panic. I am almost 50%. So that is about 120 pages or so. People have started paying attention, and they're starting to kind of interpret the art that these two created. Not necessarily interpreting it in a positive way. It's more negative. And then a tall, twisted tale gets out around the town that is linked with this art. The embers have sparked. I am interested to see where it goes from here. I feel like this last 50% is going to fly by. My only complaint so far is that I wish there were more moments in the present, kind of seeing how Frankie is reacting to the present, because most of this is in the past, but we've had 2 flashbacks to the present, or flash forwards to the present, and I just want to know more of that. That is my only complaint. Otherwise, it's pretty chill. The buddy read has started up again, and today I read 99 pages of Unravel Me. I'm on chapter like 14 or so. There has been a lot that's happened so far. It's the second book in the series, so I don't want to go too far into things. Some information has been withheld from Juliet, and naturally she's getting frustrated and worried and concerned. Based on her past, it's very normal for her to be reacting the way she is, but some of the people where she is now are kind of making her seem ungrateful and like she's not trying, and that's making me very angry, and Juliet a little bit angry too. I am just so ready to see her let go. And the result of that and the consequences of that, because I just feel like she has this unleashed like beast in her, and I want to see that like fierce side of her. I just feel it. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. But yeah, we kind of had something revealed that was like kind of big. I will continue that tomorrow, but I'm going to stop on page 99 because my buddies need to catch up with me. And like for once I'm ahead, so normally I'm the one trying to catch up to them. I'm having a really good time with this buddy read so far. Hello friends. Yesterday I was gonna check in, but I forgot to do an assignment, and so I was trying to stay up to do it, and I just fell asleep while I was doing it. So I took an L and then I finished it today. However, today, to motivate myself to do schoolwork, because this semester sucks, but that's okay. So I motivated myself to finish my schoolwork by allowing myself to read a chapter or two in between my study breaks. So I would study for like an hour or two, take a break, read a chapter or two, and then go back to studying, and vice versa. So I was able to finish some books today. I'm getting everything set up because I need to update my book blanket, and I'm like documenting it and like taking pictures and little videos and stuff like that. So I'm about to do a batch today. I digress. So today I did finish I Married a Dragon by Regina Abel. It is part of the Primating Agency series. I'm not sure what number this one is because I think originally it was earlier, but then she went back and added a few. So technically they were published later, but now they're like higher up in the order. I don't know. I Married a Dragon by Regina Abel. It was a fun addition, but not my favorite. It was a little dry. So they speak this language in the series called Universal, and it's basically like really formal English. They don't use contractions and slang and stuff like that. So sometimes it can seem really dry unless our main characters are very humorous individuals, or unless we have an addition of humorous individuals. And one of the cultural aspects of the Darakeen or the Draconians, I don't know, the species this book was centered around is that they're very candid. And so when you mix the like candidness with the universal language, the very formal language, it can kind of come across as dry sometimes. So that was kind of like the first half of this book for me, but I enjoyed the last half a lot more than the first half. I'm glad I finished that. I will be continuing that series slowly as I go. Maybe I'll do I Married a Wanja next, or I Married a Dryad, because there were little scenes alluding to that book, so that might be a fun one to read next. We'll see. Then I meant to do an update earlier on this, but like I said, got caught up. About halfway through this book, I started losing interest because of the singular focus of this book and for Frankie, our main character. And it's just these posters, this artwork that her and the boy Zeke have created. And that is just the her entire focus. And it was just so singularly focused that I got a little bored. The writing was great, definitely that similar style, fashion as Nothing to See Here. There is that quirkiness of the character. The character is very weird and just kind of owns it, and I love that aspect. The summer vibes were real as well, and just that kind of like restlessness that you get when you're a teenager in summer, or like, you know, a young adult during summer break, where it feels like you have all the time in the world, but it also feels like you have no time in the world. You know, when you're a teenager, everything seems so ginormous to your life. It either feels like it has all of the ability in the world to make a difference in your life, or absolutely none at all. And it was kind of this balance where it was like she knew something big was happening, but at the same time it was like, I do wish that there were more scenes in the present as she is an adult. Those scenes were very slim. I wish that we had seen more of that. I just want to see like more results, especially for something that had such an impact on her life. I'm a little disappointed, but also I feel like I set myself up for failure because I really wanted to like this one so much. I just thought that I would really enjoy this book, and I mean, it was fine. Like, I don't regret reading it. I had a decent time reading it, but it wasn't my favorite, so I'm a little bummed about that. And now I add it to the book wall I'm making. These are all the physical books that I have read from my physical TBR. So I'm making a book wall, and we're going to see how big this gets by the end of the year. Hey friends, I know I look a bit ridiculous, but you know what? We are owning it, and I just got this today and I'm really excited about it. Let's wrap this reading vlog up. It is the end of the week. It is the end of the day. I'm ready for bed and I am ready to wrap this reading vlog up. For today, I ended up starting the day by listening to Unravel Me. Previous to this, I think I mentioned that I had gotten 99 pages in, and then this morning I listened to a little bit more and I'm currently on page 127. I am buddy reading this series with some friends and we've all kind of expressed how dramatic Juliet is. And she is, I'm not gonna lie. But if you think about her circumstances and how she was raised and some of the things she's been through, I think your girl deserves to be a little dramatic. And also the way that Tahara Mafi writes is very emphasized. Some things are repeated a little bit, like she'll say that her heart is breaking, like in 2 or 3 different ways in the same paragraph. That helps make Juliet seem a little dramatic. She's starting to think about someone a little more and in a different way, and I'm very excited for it. And then I know I should have continued that book, but I am a mood reader, which is kind of what the point of this week was, to show you what kind of reading I do during the week as a mood reader. I picked up Merry Little Meet Cute. Before I picked this up for this reading vlog, I was only on about page 40. I picked it up in December and then just got sidetracked by a bunch of other things. And it wasn't that I wasn't feeling this, I was just feeling other things more. And then today, this morning, after I finished listening, I just felt like reading. So I got to page 227 today. I'm really enjoying it. Dad, if you're watching this, please turn it off. I'll give you a moment. Just, Dad, if you're watching, just take it off. Watch another video. This is a novel that doesn't take itself too seriously. It actually follows Bianca Van Honey, also known as B. Bianca Van Honey is an adult film star. She is a plus-sized adult film star. She kind of gets this chance to be in a film for the first time. She has to like leave that behind. She has to not do anything scandalous, not do anything adult film star related. She's no longer Bianca Van Honey, she's B. In comes Nolan Shaw, her co-star, who turns out to be like her boy crush, right? He used to be in a boy band, kind of akin to like One Direction type thing. And she's internally freaking out because he was her crush for so long. Another flip side is that Nolan recognizes B. And Nolan is also kind of trying to flip his bad boy reputation into something more wholesome. He needs this job to help his mom and his sister. And so both B and both Nolan kind of have this thing, this precious thing that they're trying to keep going with a ton of secrets in the background. It's been a fun time. It's set in this little Christmassy town. They're filming a Christmas movie. It's a little bit ridiculous, but I can tell that Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone had a great time writing this, and I am enjoying it because of that. Nolan and B have this really easy rapport with each other. They feel like friends, but they also have really cute banter sometimes, and it just feels smooth and realistic and not forced. I don't know if I feel like their chemistry is off the charts. Like, they have chemistry, but it's not like so much as I felt in other books, but I'm still really enjoying it and having a good time. I'm glad I finally picked it up again. Let's wrap this week up and look at all of the books that I read this week. First, we have Destroy Me, the first novella from the Shatter Me series, which is about 109 pages. This follows Warner's perspective just at the end of Shatter Me and just at the beginning of Unite Me, and I really loved it. Then I have it up top of My Family is Asleep and I Don't Want to Wake Them. I finished reading Now Is Not the Time to Panic by Kevin Wilson. It wasn't my favorite by him, but I still had a good time reading it. It was a solid like 3.5 stars. I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the quirkiness of the characters, but the singularity of the story bothered me a little bit, but no regrets reading it. Then I finished another book, and that was I Married a Dragon by Regine Abel. I'm really glad that I finished this book, but it also wasn't my favorite of the series. The first third, kind of boring, but after that first third, it picked up a lot and I enjoyed it a lot more. I just felt like there were so many facts and it was a little drier than some of the other books in the series, but I'm still glad to be continuing that series. I really adore it. Then I started Unravel Me and I got 127 pages into this buddy read. I am also enjoying it, but I just felt like taking a break from it and I got sidetracked by A Merry Little Meet Cute, which I continued and am now on page 227. So this is a realistic week in my life as a mood reader, working 2 jobs, in grad school. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this doesn't seem too chaotic to you guys, but this is just how my brain works and my reading works. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're doing well whenever and wherever you are watching this, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye everyone!